Could the Pittsburgh Steelers potentially trade superstar edge rusher TJ Watt to the Green Bay Packers? I don't think they'll trade him, but if they do, I think it could be to Green Bay. We'll talk about that at the top of today's show. Then we'll get into multiple reports from ESPN, including from Adam Schefter, saying that the Pittsburgh Steelers are quote-unquote done making additions in NFL free agency before the start of the 2025 NFL season. Then we'll finish up today's show with some speculation surrounding the new Steelers alternate throwback uniforms that they're going to be releasing later this month. So make sure you guys stick around to see my preferred alternate uniform concept. But before we get into the Steelers content today, guys, you can follow me on X at Jack_Sparrow. You're going to be putting out a bunch of Steelers content on there as we prepare for the 2025 season. I'm going to be posting live video from Steelers training camp as well when I am there the weekend of July 24th, the first weekend there. We're going to be doing my quarterback rankings leading up to the NFL season as well. So if you guys want that content, you can find it on my X account at Jack_Sparrow. And here's my deal that I'll make with you guys today. Everyone who follows me on X at Jack_Sparrow today will get a shout out on Monday's edition of Steelers Talks. If you want a shout out on the show, all you have to do is give me a follow at Jack_Sparrow. So the first thing I want to say before we talk about TJ Watt today is that I highly doubt that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to trade him away to any NFL team. He's just too valuable to this team. He's too valuable to the defense, and the Steelers in a win-now window. Not only that, but they also love TJ Watt. They want to make him a one-helmet guy. The Steelers take pride in, drafting these players and then, keeping them here for a long time all throughout their career, which is why, of course, Big Ben Roethlisberger was here even past his prime. This organization likes to keep their star players, and I fully expect Omar Khan and the Steelers to figure something out with TJ Watt before the start of the 2025 season. We break down why I feel like the Steelers will definitely get a deal done with TJ in yesterday's video. I break down two legitimate concerns with giving TJ Watt a massive contract extension and why I think the Steelers will and should pay him anyway. So if you want to check out my reasonings for that and more on Watt, you can find it on yesterday's show. So now let's talk a little bit here about if the Steelers do trade him. I think it would probably be to the Green Bay Packers. I think they have the most to offer the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I think TJ, if he was going to play for a team not named the Pittsburgh Steelers, it would probably be, his hometown team there in Green Bay. So the reasons why I think that Green Bay makes the most sense here, guys, is that they are a win-now team. They've got their quarterback in Jordan Love. They have revamped their receiver room. Their defense got a lot better last year. They're trying to compete for Super Bowls right now, just like the Pittsburgh Steelers are. So if they're going to make a big move for a superstar edge rusher and pay him a lot of money, they're definitely one of the teams that would be willing to do that. They also have multiple young players on their roster at positions that the Steelers would want to get in terms of trade. And then Watt is from Wisconsin, obviously. So he is somebody that would love to play for the Green Bay Packers. He grew up watching the Packers. He grew up cheering for the Packers along with his brothers TJ and Derek, and I think that if he couldn't play for the Pittsburgh Steelers, the team that he would choose would be the Green Bay Packers. So this is what a trade idea for TJ Watt to the Packers could look like. Again, I don't think the Steelers will end up dealing him, but the Steelers could potentially get a guy like a Jayden Reed from the Green Bay Packers, somebody that's a very young, very explosive yak threat and vertical threat that is a pretty decent run blocker as well. Had a little bit of a drop issue last year, but it's not a super big concern moving forward. He had some quarrels with the organization this year. Not only did they bring in Matthew Golden as their future number one wideout, Jayden didn't take that too kindly, and then guys like Josh Jacobs, the number one running back in Green Bay, said that they needed a true number one, and Jayden didn't like that comment either. So that relationship has certainly been strained. And then you can get former first-round pick as well, Lukas Van Ness. The Green Bay Packers already have Rashawn Gary. They'd be pairing him up with TJ Watt. If the Steelers want Lukas Van Ness, he's still a bit raw, but he's a really good run defender. He's got a really good bull rush, and he's got a lot of potential. So you can pair him up with Alex Highsmith and Nick Herbig, the remaining edge rushers here in Pittsburgh, and then you could potentially even still get a second-round pick out of the deal. So you get an additional draft pick to load up with even more draft picks for next year. Plus, you get two young, promising players at two positions of need for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And for me, this would kind of be the last case scenario for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I want TJ Watt on this team because he gives this team the best chance to have success on defense this year. Watt's been a big reason why, despite the lack of offensive production and lack of good quarterback play, this team has been able to remain competitive with his sack production, with his TFL production, with his turnover production. I want him here in Pittsburgh, but if you're going to have to trade him, and if this relationship devolves to a point where it gets to a point of no return, I think the Green Bay Packers probably make the most sense. But let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. Would you accept this trade? Jayden Reed, Lukas Van Ness, and a 2026 second-round pick in exchange for TJ Watt. Give me an A for accept or D for decline. This will be the pinned comment on today's show. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds, and we're going to be talking about our sponsor today at Fanatics. When I'm talking about Fanatics today, let me know down there in the comment section if you would accept or decline this trade. And with that, let's have word from our sponsor today at Fanatics, where you guys can get this Pittsburgh Steelers hoodie in your closet today when you go to chatsports.com/hoodie for 50% off this hoodie today, actually, when you use our link. Again, that is chatsports.com/PittHoodie. That is down in the comments and description of today's show. Really like the black design here, guys, with the yellow strings, and you got that awesome logo and font design there with the Pittsburgh Steelers logo on there. You guys can wear this during Steelers game days this year. We know that it gets cold in Pittsburgh during football season, but you could also wear this out to Latrobe. Say if it's a rainy day, a little bit of a cooler day, you could wear this to Steelers training camp as well. So if you want to get this today, you want to help out the show, go to chatsports.com/PittHoodie for 50% off this Steelers sweatshirt today. So then we'll shift focus here to some reports from ESPN reporters Adam Schefter and Dan Graziano, who both claim that the Pittsburgh Steelers feel content with where their weapons group is at heading into the 2025 season. This is what Schefter had to say. I think they're always looking, but I think they've made their moves. I don't have any more moves that they can make. They've made a ton of moves so far. And then Graziano said this: I don't get the sense in talking to the Steelers that they feel like they need to add a wide receiver. Jonnu Smith is kind of a wide receiver playing tight end, and again, they like the idea of him playing him on the field as an explosive option alongside DK Metcalf and Calvin Austin for a team that, let's face it, probably is going to run the ball a lot. Now listen, guys, I kind of tend to believe Graziano and Schefter's reporting here because I think it's coming directly from the team, and they want everybody to know, hey, we've made our moves, we feel good about where we're at, and they're trying to kind of tamper down expectations from the fan base, many of which still want this team to add a receiver before the start of the season. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if Graziano and Schefter's reporting here is correct, because you take a look at the Steelers' weapons, and I think every single player on this graphic has their role here depending on the situation. All right, DK Metcalf is your true number one receiver. He's going to be playing that quote-unquote A.J. Brown type of role in this Arthur Smith offense. Got Calvin Austin III, who can threat underneath, intermediate, and vertically. He's a really good route runner. He's really good after the catch. He's a true vertical threat with his long speed, plus he gives you punt return upside as well. Then you got your little slot receiver in Roman Wilson, somebody that's a bit smaller, but he's a dog competitor. He's going to be a good run blocker, excellent hands for his size, and he's got really good acceleration. Jonnu Smith's going to be used as that yak threat and kind of quote-unquote big slot receiver, where you're going to get a lot of screens to him. You're going to get him the ball underneath a lot, get him the ball in space with his larger frame and athleticism, and make him make plays. And then you got the possession tight end and Pat Freiermuth, and then your blocking tight end and Darnell Washington. These are 6 pieces I expect to be on the field quite a bit, and I think that the Steelers probably feel good with the roles that they have slotted for these 6 players. And then when it comes to the secondary, another position that Steelers fans are kind of clamoring for this team to get a free agent in is safety. But I'm telling you guys, this team likes Juan Thornhill, who they brought in free agency this year. He was a Super Bowl champion as a starting free safety for the Kansas City Chiefs just a couple of seasons back in 2022, and the team feels like he's been dealing with some injuries, but he's ready to come back, and he's ready to be a starting level player for this team. And then you got one of the best, if not the best, cornerback trio in the game this year, Joey Porter Jr., Darius Slay, and then Jalen Ramsey as your nickel defender, and DeShon Elliott, one of the most secure tacklers and honestly one of the most impactful defenders on this defense last year, coming back to play strong safety. So I think the Steelers feel pretty darn good about this unit as well. I will will say, if the Steelers do bring in another player before the start of the season, I would probably think it's going to be Gabe Davis. It kind of seems like Davis's representation wants the message out there that they really like their visit to Pittsburgh and that they would love to sign here with the Pittsburgh Steelers. But like we mentioned, guys, I think the Steelers actually feel pretty darn good with where their roster is at right now. And unless something bad happens in training camp, I'm not sure if they're going to make another free agent addition, at least not a big name one. So make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon if you haven't already, if you're enjoying today's show. We still got one more topic to discuss today, but it really does help out the YouTube algorithm. If you click that thumbs up icon, it takes a half second of your time, but the more people that like the video, YouTube is going to throw this video in front of more Steelers fans like yourself. So if you want to help us out today, click that thumbs up icon. I greatly appreciate it. So the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be unveiling new alternate throwback jerseys and helmets on July 21st. So that's right before the start of Steelers training camp in Latrobe, which begins on July 24th officially. Players report on the 23rd, and the picture that they posted on their social media was forged in Pittsburgh. So it's going to be a throwback uniform that they're going to be playing, that they're going to be wearing, I should say, in Week 8 on Sunday Night Football versus the Green Bay Packers. And I think they're going to be bringing back the yellow helmets of some kind, guys. The fan base has been really clamoring to bring back the yellow helmets for quite some time now. It was a staple throwback alternate option for this team during the 2010s, in the late 2000s, and they won a lot of football games with those helmets, and there's a lot of nostalgia with those helmets, especially in the younger generation of Steelers fans. But I would make two changes to the yellow helmet personally, guys. I would make two changes to this helmet where, traditionally it's got the black face mask and then it's got the Steelers logo there on the side like their traditional helmets. I would like to see a more kind of quote-unquote throwback style of helmet here where you got the gray face mask just like they wore last year in the New York Jets game, but then you still have the yellow helmet, you still have the black stripe that goes down the middle, but then I would maybe consider putting the numbers on the side there just like they did in the late 50s and in the early 60s. The design for the uniforms could look like this, where you could do the helmets on the side, you could not do the helmets on this or the numbers on the side. I don't really care, but I think that this would be a really cool aesthetic that the Steelers really haven't gone back to since the early 60s when they discontinued these jerseys, and I think it would be a really, really cool jersey combination to bring back here to Pittsburgh. Now, another reason why I would love this is because it kind of reminds me of Aaron Rodgers' old Green Bay Packers alternates with just like the yellow helmet with the gray face mask. Just imagine this only with the black jerseys and pants. I think that would be absolutely sweet. Even if it's just for one game, especially because he's going to be playing the Green Bay Packers in that football game. So to have a helmet similar to the one that he wore in Green Bay in the alternate kind of situations, I think would be a really cool thing for Aaron Rodgers to be wearing playing against his former team. So let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section. What are you hoping that the new alternate throwback uniforms look like for the Pittsburgh Steelers when the team announces it on July 21st? Let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section. I want to see those gold helmets. I want to see the true throwback uniforms here in Pittsburgh, but let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section. That'll be it for today's edition of Steelers News and Rumors. We got more Steelers content coming your way throughout the weekend here. Tomorrow is really a video you're not going to want to miss, guys. I'm going to be doing a full deep dive into the Steelers offensive scheme under Arthur Smith. It's one of the most extensive videos we have ever made for this channel. I can't wait to share that with you guys tomorrow. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already so you guys can watch that video when it comes out tomorrow morning.